My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome back to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminsky, filling in for Dave DeBow. And have you ever wondered how AI is revolutionizing real estate investing? Well, today, my guest, Marquis Cobb from Infinite Capital, is here to shed light on syndication strategies, building trust as a new investor, and getting brokers to take you seriously. Marquis, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Hey, Bryce, thanks so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so the AI is definitely stepping into all sorts of, places in business. Most recently, probably the biggest impact's like in the marketing side of things. But can you share a little bit more experience on kind of how you got started in real estate? And then we'll talk a little bit more about this whole AI thing with Infinite Capital.
Sure. So I had a pretty traditional start in real estate journey, getting rich dad poor dad, going on bigger pockets. Didn't have any capital myself, so I kind of just tried to do anything like for free, like went on YouTube for free, as much as I can for free. Started out wholesaling in, let's say, April of 2022. Did my first wholesale deal in June. I made about 13 grand. I was like, I can do this. This works. But the downside was that I hated cold calling, so I was working my W-2 still at the time. And so I was working all day and then coming home and cold calling for 4 hours a day. And then pretty much just rinse and repeat every day, doing that. And then after I got that one check, I just had to start all over. So I was definitely looking for something like continue to pay me, maybe a little more passive. And then that's how I found apartment syndication. Joined my first mentorship group later that year in November 2022. And that was a multi-family mindset with Tyler Devereaux and Ryan Woody. Everyone was familiar with them. Great mentorship. Kind of expensive, but I believe in, investing in yourself. So it was worth the investment. Went from education. It kind of kickstarted me going faster as far as having coaching, learning the business, learning like some strategies, some techniques, learning like how to underwrite things, stuff like that. And so moving on through my journey doing multifamily, eventually I met with some people at a meetup, and we probably LinkedIn from Infinite Capital. And so now I'm working with them, and they're great AI technology.
Nice. So tell us a little bit more about this Infinite Capital and how AI is shaping the real estate investment landscape.
Sure. So Infinite Capital, I joined their delayed entry program, or not delayed, deal accelerator program, sorry. And so basically, they are trying to build solo GPs, but basically they're just trying to build GPs who can like go out, work with Infinite Capital, but eventually kind of do this on their own without having to kind of rely on them pretty much. So how it works for me is Infinite Capital has this very large fund, but very large deal investors. So what they do is I go out, find the deal, send it to our underwriting team. Once that comes out good, if everything works out, we do due diligence, put in their contract, and they kind of provide like all that extra stuff for the sign for the loan, get the funds, the investment from their fund, with the lawyers and everything, and then they kind of just help me become an asset manager, basically for that deal. And they also require upfront money from the GP to put towards your own deal, so that way you have skin in the game, and also you can get paid as a GP and help you on the first deal. And they encourage you to continue to invest in your own deals in the future as well. How the AI comes in is that they have such a large pool of investors. Instead of like going through, the interviews, like each investor, they have this like, what do you like to learn? That's to have AI kind of like hurry up investors with the deal, but it assumes that they would have like, they still have the option of whoever BP out as far as like the business plan and everything, but kind of speeds up the process of like weeding out who's interested and who's not interested. And we're also working on developing an AI that can help with underwriting as well. But that's still kind of early stages.
Yeah, you gotta spend the time training the thing up. So
Yeah.
when you look at the stuff you're working on, what sort of strategies do you employ when seeking out these value add properties out in the Midwest, like Kentucky and the Carolinas?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Kentucky, so I know the market pretty well. Other Midwest states strategy, get those deals is just pretty much working on those both relationships. So me specifically, I try to find the top few brokers in the market and kind of to build that relationship, like get to know them, talk with them about many areas, go and meet a bunch of them, just get to know them and build that relationship more than just like transactional business. That makes sense.
Yeah, so like the networking side of things, so you can get access to more deals. So when you're looking at what you've been doing, tell us a little bit more about like the challenge of balancing that W-2 and your real estate early on.
Yes, so I'm still actually working my W-2. I'm active duty Air Force, so still in the military. Still got years left on my contract, but only about a year and a half left now. But especially now, like I was previously living in South Carolina. We just recently moved to Las Vegas for the military, so it's kind of my first hurdle was like having to pick up and go on their time, not my time. And then
Hmm.
also now that I'm on Pacific time and West Coast time, and I'm looking at East Coast or Central time zones, to kind of have to get up a little earlier, and then still
Yeah.
have to go going to work, going home, and then it being late. But I'm still up, but everybody else is off work, so it's pretty time management really the biggest hurdle with the W-2.
Yeah, it's especially the time zone thing, like, oh, they're having an 8 o'clock meeting Eastern, and you're like, okay, 7 o'clock it is. I'm up a little earlier. So could you elaborate a little bit more on the significance of being chosen to work with Infinite Capital and kind of how that's impacted your approach to investing so far?
Yeah, so they don't just let anyone join for their GP team. There's an interview process to kind of feel you out, like your values, your goals, and kind of they have a board meeting and all the board members have to agree with, yes, this is a good fit for our team. So that was kind of nerve wracking just for, for the mentorship program, but that you kind of pay and then you're there. So this is like the actual interview. You have to go through a process. And then the process so far has been good. Every Tuesday, we have like a meeting to talk about different strategies, different things we're seeing in the market. And then once a month, we have like a mindset meeting. We had a professional psychiatrist kind of like take the whole group's mind, kind of like build goals, talk about goal setting, talk about achieving goals, the time management thing, because of the W-2 or like family and business balance. So I think it's a good feel like our family kind of where like all GPs are a big like sleep text, talk text like all the time about different things, and different videos or inspirational messages, things like that.
Yeah, they're making sure that you're a good fit. So, um, when you're working with new investors, it can be challenging to like build trust. So, what sort of tactics or approaches have you found to be most effective for establishing that credibility with, new brokers, new investors?
So I really lean on the infinite capital and what we have. Like we have a great website. We have over 2,000 units under management at the moment, mostly in Texas and Florida. So I use that kind of background, but also use that the same way to kind of break out into the new market. So for our fund is so large, we don't have an issue with like once we have a price, it's agreed upon, we're going to close it. Like I mean, like retrading or things like that. That's one thing. And we can close fairly fast and our fund is ready to go. Everything is kind of lined up already. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, the bank said this or that. So, and then one thing really would be like if you doing this or if we found something egregious where then we have to talk about some things as far as maybe sell a credit, not necessarily retrade. But
Nice, nice.
going back to what you said about the bidding fence, Yeah, I was just leaning on experience with venture capital and Oregon.
Yeah, they see the big company and they're like, okay, they've done some stuff, likely a credible organization. So, as you aim to transition into full-time investing, what sort of steps are you taking to ensure a smooth transition and to really maximize your real estate opportunities?
So my plan is over these next 2 years or year and a half or so, just replace that income and have a unit count in mind that would translate over to replace the income I have now. But every day just trying to do little things. Just like believe in like being 1% better every day. So every day I'm just trying to do like the little small things that will continue to add up over time to where I'm gonna reach my goals. So I think this week I was focusing on, like I said, building up relationships and also working on talking with property managers in the different markets that I'm living in, building relationships with them as well. So it's not just the focus.
Nice, nice. So, are you worried at all about, leaving the W-2 and going into real estate full time?
I mean, not really worried. I mean, I've heard people say this many times, like, let's say real estate doesn't work out. Worst case scenario, you go back to what you already been doing. So it's really not a lose-lose situation. You just stay where you are and you still have a job. You may not want to like the job, but you're not worse than what you started for.
Yeah, you can always survive. It's America, right? So
Right.
there's always somewhere to work. Now, you mentioned an interest in eventually owning mobile home parks for the cash flow. What draws you to this asset class? How do you plan to integrate that into your portfolio?
So that would be something I would do like on my own, like individual basis, instead of like
Hmm.
working syndication and maybe down the road when I have a few deals under my belt, maybe I can spare some cash, get a mobile home park. Let's just increase my cash flow, market shifts and mobile home parks, not or not recession resistant, 100%, like nothing recession proof, but the low income housing usually typically pretty strong, doesn't fluctuate as much as like single family or multi-family. And also, I get the stigma of like mobile home parks and like how sometimes they have a bad name or they're like people that live in their bad. And that like I've been to mobile home parks. I did a mobile home park flip recently. Not mobile home park, but mobile home flip. And like the neighbors go around, it's so helpful, it's so nice. So I just trying to change that stigma. It's, so I don't know like what happened to where that became a thing. I'm sure there's like a few bad influences, but I believe if like you do the right kind of screening, get the right people in, it'll be a great community. Just like
Yeah, it's kind
anywhere.
of the same as like an apartment block or anything else, right? Like
Right.
you have a bad manager and they're putting bad people in, you're gonna get a suspect apartment block. But yeah, I've been in some nice mobile home parks too, where it's they got lawn maintenance and it looks immaculate. There's no trash nowhere. The roads are all good. Everything's looking good. Everyone's property's kept up. So it can go either way. Now, um, can you discuss the role of syndication in your investment strategy, how you plan to leverage and scale that for your real estate investments?
So syndication is kind of like my first step, like my first big say strategy. So
Hmm.
right now in the early stages, going full force, syndication is trying to do that as much as possible. And then maybe later kind of step out of that GP role and move into the LP to kind of invest more passively. And then eventually down the road, like I said, increase that flow, take my own part. And basically just trying to build a legacy for my family and future families. It's
Yeah.
all based around syndication. This is like the beginning part.
Yeah, syndication can be pretty big. A lot of people are talking about it more, and I think that has to do with the price of multifamily units. It used to be that maybe you could bring a couple people together and put a deal together, but now it's like we're gonna have to bring in a bus of people to afford this one. So let's syndicate this thing. So with the AI side of this business venture, um, do you see it? Because there's a lot of talk about AI using it to create smart lists and create, do some deep data diving, stuff like that. Where do you see it going in the industry here as someone who's like participating in kind of like the development side?
Uh, well, I see it becoming very helpful, but you don't want to like overdo it. So, from my standpoint, yeah, it's a tool. It's not really like a replacement for things. So,
Hmm.
you just want to use it to make your life easier rather than, okay, I'm going to use AI and take out like these employees to save $1 or something like that. That's not what I want. I wouldn't want that for me or anyone else, or I wouldn't want that for the future. So AI, it's very sophisticated now, but it's only going to get more sophisticated. Like you said, you have to teach it to do all these different things. Like you have to be very specific, like what you want it to do, how you want it to
Hmm.
do it. I think that will continue to improve as far as how it's going to apply to real estate. There's so many different ways as far as like the data, like you said. I think if it's more all data focused, it'll be good. But once people start using it for replacing like that people factor, then it kind of gets okay in my
Well, have you seen the AI dialer, the AI voice
I've
dialer?
I've heard about that. And I'm not a fan. I mean, I
Yeah,
get it. Like I said, I hate cold calling, but I don't know. You kind
it
of
seems it seems like I heard some of the early recordings and I'm like, that's pretty good. You can tell, I can tell, but when I play it for people, not everyone can tell. And on a
right,
cold call, and they're just asking basic questions, got a girl's voice, sounds like a real person. The like the tone's a little off and stuff like that, but that's only now. I mean,
right,
a little more training, a little bit more data, a little bit more like sophistication and like where is it getting caught? And I I do see it as like it's kind of weird because it's like when we start accepting these like I saw one AI dialer setting appointments for a hair salon. They're like, I see you clicked on the thing for a haircut. Do you have time tomorrow at 3 or 4 o'clock? And the guy's like, 3 o'clock. And it's booked and set the whole appointment, um, all from this AI dialer. And I was thinking, when people accept it, that's when we're going to see it really go. But as soon as someone like finds a little bit funniness to it, they're just going to be like, nah, I'm not talking to that person or that AI chat bot or whatever.
right.
So, like with all the things you're doing, why didn't you keep doing wholesaling? If you're trying to get out of your W-2, the money's there. Are you still doing wholesaling these days?
No, not really.
You
I
didn't like it.
mean, no, like I said, it was just like I didn't like the transactional piece
There's
of
no
it.
future to it, but it certainly
Right.
can make you money today.
Yeah. I wanted something that would like continue to pay me and also be the scale. And then, like I said, trying to build a legacy. So you could do that a lot faster with multifamily rather than like single family or wholesaler.
Mhm.
To do, you can get what, like 100 units quick and easy. Well, not quick and easy, but faster than multifamily. You can do 100 wholesale.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd probably take you a year, and that would probably take you a better part of a year, about the same, but next year,
Yeah, do
you
it
would do
all
it
over.
all over again.
And then I can tell from my one deal experience, to get one deal, who knows how many calls I made, like 200. So times
Hmm.
that by 100, that's like 2,000 calls, and
Yeah,
it's
I
still
guess
not
it's like
guaranteed to get 100.
yeah, there's no guarantees unless you're working a W-2, then they give you some form of guarantee, but even then they could be like, it was nice knowing you. We're downsizing, you're out, the
Right.
security is pretty much, anywhere can kind of cut the ties. So if people want to connect with you guys and find out more about Infinite Capital and what you're up to, what should they do? How do they find you?
Yeah, you can look me up on LinkedIn. It's just Marquis Cobb. And feel free to email me, Marquis at venturecapital.ai, and then check out our website, venturecapital.ai.
Nice, nice. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by and letting us know a little bit about what you guys are doing over there.
Appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.